Ave Maria, this is Father Angelo Mary for Mary Victrix, and here we are on Friday, a few hours before the encampment begins, and we're going to take a walkthrough on the challenge course. We have Doug Barry with us here today, and his two sons, Jordan and Zachariah.
Hi, Father.
Hi. And we have Steve over here with the big NRA guy. And this is Brother Skeet, or Sir Skeet, and Roy Curlin and his two sons, Aiden and Michael, or got them backwards, Michael and Aiden. And we got somebody else hiding back here too. One of the Peter boys, Zachary Peter. So we're going to walk through, and maybe while we're going down, Doug, you can talk both about the physical aspects of what we're going to be doing, and more importantly, the spiritual ones.
Oh, you betcha. Love to.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration behind the boot camp? What got you started with this idea?
It actually originally started with a neighbor up the street asking me if I could help his sons learn how to lift weights. Since I got a background, I used to compete in some different types of powerlifting and such, and ran a couple of marathons and did some basic self-defense, different training things. So I started working with his sons and my sons once a week, and from there we realized that a lot of these young Catholic men were not in great physical shape, and even less did they know about the faith, such as the basics, Ten Commandments, Beatitudes, corporal spiritual works of mercy, the basics that have everything to do with our salvation. Many confirmed Catholic youth I would find in my travels didn't even know the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, yet they'd been confirmed. So we thought, let's just try a little 2-week thing in the summer, bring the local kids together, put them through some kind of a boot camp type mentality with push-ups, pull-ups, running, and incorporate the faith to it and really understand a bit more about the spirituality of a man and using his strengths and abilities across the board for God and for souls.
That's great. So you're dealing with, I think you've said before, spirit, mind, and body.
Yes.
You're trying to integrate everything that should make up a real man.
Right. Absolutely, yes. We've got, so much we see in the world today, men physically, the athlete out there who's got all the muscles and he's built and he's strong and he's fast and we think that's the image of a man. And, of course, we have the intellectual mind out there, the men who done so much in either business or science or what have you. And there's a great sense of masculinity that can be expressed there. Spiritually, that seems to be the area that lacks a lot. But if you combine and you take a spiritual man who has a great fear of God, a love of God, he's a prayerful man, a sacramental man, knows the faith, loves the faith, and realizes the order of things with regards to his soul and the family or community or whatever his vocation is, and how he must lead spiritually in these respects. Combine that with what he's been given intellectually, what he can do with his mind, and then combine that physically with being a strong man, and you've got one incredible man overall that is using all the gifts and abilities, mind, body, and soul that God gave him. There's not a man out there, I wouldn't say, who's a husband and father who, if his house was on fire, he wouldn't want to, run in the house and make sure he was strong enough and courageous enough to save everybody in that house. And yet there's a lot of men who let some of those aspects go of their lives. Physically, we let the body kind of die off as we get older. Don't keep it just in reasonable shape. Intellectually, continue to develop an understanding of our faith, or understanding of our talents and abilities that God gives us within the mind. And spiritually, of course, deepening the love for God and knowing that his role is to bring his family, or in your case as a priest, as you know, to bring your community to a deeper love of this limitless, endless, no holds barred God that we have. And so, to try to understand that there's much more to what a man should be and is than oftentimes what we see in the world around us.
Yeah, I like to often put it simply that a man should be a man of prayer and action.
Right.
And that, in a particular way, for men, in terms of their religious experience and their involvement with the church, they need to be able to translate their spirituality and their prayer into a plan of action. And that's what really sort of motivates them to enter more deeply into their faith.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And, there's no question about it. You see throughout history great stories of heroic men who have done just that. Whether it's biblical or just the history of the church, 2,000 years, the great stories of saints, and even people who may not be canonized by the church and recognized as a saint, still heroic things that came from something within, something that they were men of action. They realized that the time was needed for them to stand up and speak out. And I don't think that anybody could really argue with our world today that men have been silent far too long. Fathers, to a large degree, have relinquished a certain sense of authority in their homes. A lot of people have just kind of chalked our kids up to, well, that's the way they are. They're teenagers, and there's going to be the bickering and the fighting, and they're going to be rebellious. And I don't think that's the case. It doesn't have to have. It's not a genetic defect in a child that they're going to go through this.
They've entrusted them to the schools and to the government, basically.
Right, and they've kind of given up their role as the primary educator, as the one, and not just education of their mind, but of their heart, their soul, their understanding of a sense of discipline and peace and order, and everything what they should be doing with the abilities and talents God gives them.
Great.
So,
great. We're here at the first station that comes along our path here, which is the monkey bars. We still have some work to do there, obviously, but what do you think?
It looks good. I love it. I love the setting. See, my course back home is all in a whole farm field, so it's all wide open. This is great with the trees and all, but no, that looks outstanding. And we fill that in with a little gravel eventually, but even as it is, it can be used. So that's great. I like that. That should be 20 feet long then. So
it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Just according to your specs that you gave us.
That's outstanding. Thank you, son. Yeah, that looks good.
All right. So,
should we try it out?
Someone want to give it a try?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Hard to hold on because it's wet. Come on, Charlie.
All right. I like it. Tragic? Too wet for you? Okay. They're wet, but they're good.
Okay.
I like it.
What's the matter, Charlie? You're not going to do it for us?
Not on TV.
Not on TV. Okay.